Hey everybody, it's Mark from tenttable.com. I want to go over with you right now one of the most valuable tools you should have in your rental fleet if you're renting frame tents, and that's your tent jack. Saves your back, saves labor, and can make setting up a tent quicker, safer, and more efficient. When you receive your tent jack, it's going to come in basically 3 components. You're going to have one long box that's going to have your upper and lower aluminum bars. You're going to have another box that's going to have your winch, pulley assembly, and hardware, all right? And then individually wrapped is going to be your tent base. The tools that are required are going to be a 6mm Allen wrench, a 13mm open end, a 14mm open end, and a 14mm socket. First thing I recommend doing is actually unwrapping your base that's down here, getting it ready. You don't need to put the extension bars in it right away, but get the base on the ground, and you're gonna see that you have 2 separate pieces here. The longer piece with the splice plate is gonna be your bottom plate. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is basically drop that onto your plate. Then you will take this plate and assemble it in this fashion right here. It will go on both ways, so what you want to make sure is just follow this video. As you see, 1, 2, 3, 2 holes up, 1 hole down, and at that point, use your 14mm bolts, washers, and wrenches to assemble that plate. Next thing you're going to want to do is bolt your winch assembly into place. You're going to simply follow the same bolt pattern using the 6mm Allen wrench and a wrench on the back to tighten that into place. Once that is into place, you will assemble your handle with the supplied stop nut. Now, once we have the winch firmly assembled to the lower part of the base, you're going to take your upper mast, put it right next to this mast. You'll notice there are 2 holes drilled in the bottom of this. Those are going to align with the holes on the top part of this base. At that point, loosen this up, pull it up a half click, and you'll be able to pull some cable out so you have a little bit of slack. Place the pulley on the top, and you're going to bolt it into place. This is very important. You want to make sure that the hook will be on the opposite side of the holes. That way you're not twisting the cable when you're using the jack, putting it up and down. You're going to lay this jack down and you're going to insert the upper mast onto the splice plate, and you're going to secure it with these R-pins through this hole here. Once I have the tent jack assembled, I've actually pulled all the cable out of this unit. The reason I did that is a lot of times in production, they may not have the cable wrapped very neatly. The one thing that I didn't show during the operation was you'll notice there's leg extensions on here. For stability, you always want to use your tent jack with these extensions. They simply slide into the base and will get pinned in place. I want to make sure when I'm putting this onto the base plate that I'm facing it as close toward this outer one as possible. It's a little easier to tip this way, more difficult when I'm pulling this way. So when you're using your tent jack on a tent, make sure always that this is freed up a little bit. You're going to loop around your frame mechanism and jack your tent up in the air. Once you have this up in the air, you want to get your legs in as quickly as possible. You're going to reverse this, and then you're going to release some of the pressure down, unhook your cable, and then move on to the other side of the tent. If you don't own a tent jack, it's actually a great time saver, and most important, it saves the back and it helps keep your employees in good working condition and working safely.